You might not think it does, but sometimes being 6'5" has its drawbacks, because you see other things people don't see. Like how Kaito as a characterized voice bank has encapsulated and reinforced gender roles in both indirect and direct manners, which in turn has perpetuated the patriarchy. Nice one, dickhead. This all started in 06, when Kaito and Miko's Version 1 voice banks initially came out. Their release was met with resounding failure. This was pinned down to an overall lack of marketing. However, Miko's sales were comparatively higher than Kaito's, which Krypton believed was a result of their customer base being predominantly male, which on the surface level makes sense, given the fact that Vocaloids are marketed as virtual idols, and the idol industry is female dominated. Until you realise that Krypton voice banks weren't originally marketed as virtual idols. In fact, they weren't marketed as virtual idols until Miku's voice bank came out in 2007. So Kaito and Miko's voice banks were meant to be used for genres like pop music and rock music, which during the 2000s were both genres that were dominated by male singers. For this, I blame Kurt Cobain for no particular reason. Oh no, not me. But why didn't the sale of Vocaloids follow this industry trend? Well, you see, it's a result of the patriarchy becoming interconnected with consumerism on both a physical and digital level. Originally, the Miko and Kaito voice banks didn't have anime characters to represent them, but as an attempt to make up for Krypton's lack of marketing, they cooked up two great character designs for Kaito and Miko in an anime art style, which was done in order to follow the old and gold method of slapping anime characters onto products in order to get them to sell. Now, it's worth noting that these character designs weren't initially personifications of the characters themselves, which meant that Miko and Kaito could truly be whatever you wanted them to be. But then, the dangers of binary thinking crept in. As Miko's voice bank started to sell more than Kaito's as a result of her being an anime girl, this reinforced and promoted the patriarchy by providing a framework for business success. As other companies learned from Krypton and Co's success from using anime girls to represent products, they started to mimic this notion, kicking forward the butterfly effect. The framework in which Krypton created for digital marketing began to see a massive rise in anime girls as mascots to a much larger degree than even getting McDonald's meals could ever imagine.
It's kind of the same thing if you go to Subway restaurants after 4 p.m. You can get 4 sandwiches.
And since sex sells, these anime girls were sexualized. And as a result of a lack of ethical boundaries surrounding fictional characters, then the globalization of anime led for this school of thought to be adopted from many international anime fans who are disconnected from reality, deepening their pre-existing sexist worldviews, which diminishes the role of women in society and reinforces the patriarchy. So yeah, thanks a lot, Kaito. However, it's worth mentioning that in 2008, Kaito turned the tides and began to become both a cultural and financial success for Krypton, as newfound popularity led to many headcanons about Kaito to be created. A lot of these headcanons about Kaito were about him being wimpy, but Kaito's voice bank contradicts this notion, which makes me believe he's a performative male. I believe that performative males promote the patriarchy. By turning this aversion of gender into a matter of spectaclism, the message in the feminist books which they pretend to read are completely disregarded. As by trying to mimic what's typically feminine, they're creating a massive generalization which reinforces gender roles. And Kaito, by being a performative male as shown in Project Sakai, is one of the many performative males perpetuating the patriarchy. But wait, is it performative to make a feminist video essay on YouTube? So does that mean that I'm performative? Does that mean I'm promoting the patriarchy? Fuck. I'm gonna have to ponder on that one, so yeah, see y'all later.